This time on episode 203 of Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., we discuss Iron Fist, Bar of the Big Boss, weekly Marvel news, and your feedback.
Hi, I'm Zuby from Magic with Zuby, a proud member of the Gonna Geek Network. Just like the show you're listening to now, the opinions expressed are those of each individual host. Check out all other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
You have been granted clearance by Director Phil Coulson. Stand by for S.H.I.E.L.D. debriefing. All information to be discussed here is classified and may only be discussed among agents granted clearance by the S.H.I.E.L.D. Director.
Now it's time for your scheduled debriefing. I'm Director Stargate Pioneer.
I'm Agent Haley.
I'm Agent Lauren.
And I'm Consultant Michelle.
Welcome to Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., a Marvel Comic Universe fan show. The show is recorded on Sunday, September 24th, 2017, live from the Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. studio and broadcast galactic-wide via www.geeks.live. Ladies, happy National Punctuation Day!
Hooray for the Oxford comma.
Yes. You can have my Oxford comma when you pry it from my cold, dead hands.
And here's to properly using semicolons.
Agreed.
And oh, by the way, happy birthday, Mama Stargate Pioneer.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. I don't know if she's watching or not, but in case she is, happy birthday, Mom. I'll call you later. Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a fan-based podcast on the ABC television show Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Marvel's Defenders on Netflix, Legion on FX, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the Marvel Comic Universe in general.
Because of doing Tai Chi to rap music.
If you'd like to talk to us about doing Tai Chi to rap music, you can find us at our website, legendsofshield.com.
If you want to leave us a voicemail about your doing crazy stuff to rap music, you can contact us on our voicemail, 844-THE-BUS-1 or 844-843-2871.
If you want to just talk to Lauren and I, you could visit our Facebook page, Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. Podcast.
You can tweet an image of yourself doing Tai Chi to rap music to @LegendsofS.H.I.E.L.D.
If you want to, link a video of yourself doing Tai Chi to rap music, or just watch us talk about it, you can find us on our YouTube page at youtube.com/GonnaGeek.
And remember, Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a proud member of the GonnaGeek.com network.
For this penultimate episode of Season 1 of Iron Fist, I thought we'd do something special. And that is, we've brought on Consultant Michelle in addition to the full crew. So you have 4 capable hosts and 3 very lovely ladies talking about Iron Fist. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. This is a good time to actually talk about Iron Fist. Because 1, it's almost over, and 2, this is actually a decent episode.
I was just lamenting to a friend that I'm so glad we're about done with Iron Fist and I can get on to the Defenders next week. So really looking forward to after Thursday night and getting on to the Defenders. But thank you very much for joining us. This was a good episode and I'm glad you're here.
Me too.
And with that, let's get into it. Lauren, today we're talking about the episode Bar the Big Boss, and it is the title of the episode. And the titles of the episode have often led to something that is a movement in the martial arts in addition to something that happens in the episode. So why don't you lay that all out for us?
All right. This is actually a martial arts move. It's a Shaolin move, and it involves blocking, and it's a defense move. So if you look at shaolin.org/review/chop.html, you can see some examples.
Okay. So what does Bar the Big Boss have to do as a title with the episode of what happens in the episode?
Well, it seems pretty obvious. This is talking about Bakudo.
Ooh, Bakudo. Okay. I can run with that. Ladies, you all okay with that? Michelle, Haley, Bakuto?
Sure.
Yeah, maybe Harold. You see him as a boss in a way, especially of his kids.
Slimy
Good
boss.
point. Good point.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we got Bakuto and Harold. I like it. I don't think it would extend to Davos, though. That's a slightly different issue.
Yeah, I think Davos wishes he was the boss, and that's the issue.
Okay. We'll get into all of that in a little bit. In the meantime, let's run down the creative team for this episode. Haley, why don't you break down the director for us?
This episode was directed by Andy Goddard, who started with some shorts back in 1998. He then went on to do a bunch of other TV stuff. He did the Outsiders TV movie in 2006, 6 episodes of Torchwood, just 1 episode of Doctor Who, 2 episodes of Outcasts, 10 episodes of Law & Order UK, some episodes of Downton Abbey, Dracula TV series. He did 1 episode of Once Upon a Time, an episode of Daredevil, an episode of Luke Cage, this episode of Iron Fist, and he's also slated to direct 2 episodes of The Punisher.
They made a Law & Order UK?
They did.
It had Jamie Bamber in it.
It had Jamie
Yeah, it was
Bamber,
decent.
and it had Martha Jones.
Yeah. That's why she didn't become a regular on Torchwood, because she had to go off to do Law & Order UK.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I can't believe there's 2 other people that watched it. I thought I was one of the only few Americans who watched the show.
I grew up on Law and Order. Of course I'm going to watch Law and Order UK.
So the fact that Jamie Bamber did a shirtless scene in BSG had nothing to do with it?
Actually, yeah, I was not. I mean, Jamie Bamber's a very good actor, but he was not my BSG man crush.
I see. Other ladies? Man crush, Jamie Bamber?
It's very pretty.
Yeah. Pretty.
He's
But
pretty,
Not pretty
but
enough.
yeah.
Not enough.
Okay. So Michelle, who wrote this episode?
This episode was written by Scott Reynolds, has 6 writing credits starting in 2006, 2 episodes of E-Ring, 11 episodes of Dexter, 2 of the following, 5 Jessica Jones, 2 episodes of Iron Fist, this one, and 8 Diagram Dragon Palm, and also a producer of Dexter, the following, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist.
All right. So kind of a competent creative team between the director and the writer. And well, that's good, because I think collectively before the show, we were saying this is probably one of the favorite episodes. This is a good episode, right, Michelle?
Yeah, things actually happen. Things that actually move the plot along, things that you actually have to pay attention and follow. Again, it's like, this is one of the ones you can't skip. This one in the last one, you can't skip. So I was actually pleased when I rewatched this. I'm like going, oh yeah, I remember this was interesting. And it had those fights, and you got to see Bakuto promise and then not promise and then promise again. It's really intriguing.
It's also one of the ones where Danny is, I feel like, the most relatable, because he actually is sort of vulnerable and admits, I don't know what I'm doing. Instead of, oh, I'm the Iron Fist, everything I do is automatically, like, he had this he had this superiority complex in the very first episodes. And here you see him slowly becoming like more and more lost until finally he says, I don't know what I'm doing, but maybe my destiny is out here. And okay, I can deal with that. And again, the fight scenes are, I think, the best they've been all season. The plot is the most interesting it's been all season. The characters, I mean, even the terrible ones are the most interesting they've been all season. So while this is still not my favorite of the Netflix series, this episode, I feel like up until now has been the most competently done of them.
Now, Haley, we've talked a lot about the hallway fights, or the fights in this episode. There was an actual hallway fight, which was done with the comic paneling a little bit through it. Wasn't done throughout the entire fights, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah. They also made the wise decision with their fight scenes to give the big fight to Colleen instead of Danny, which is something they should have been doing all along, because she's much better at it than Finn Jones, whatever his name is.
Jones, yes.
That's a way to look at it. However, I also looked at it from the standpoint of this is the penultimate. This is not the actual ending.
Right.
So it made sense to me to not have Danny Rand fight the big boss in this episode. You want to say that for next week?
Yeah, from a storytelling standpoint, it makes sense. And again, this is, for the most part, the Bakuda fight is Colleen completing her arc. This is her coming to terms with being part of the Hand. You see her at the beginning of the episode being at a very low point. Davos is insulting her. She's admitting, yes, I was in the Hand. They were lying to me. This thing that I was brought up in, I have to accept is not what I thought it was. And then she takes out all that anger on her teacher, her mentor, the guy who I guess effectively raised her, in this cult. I mean, not raised her. She had, her grandparents and everything. But from a worldview point of view, this is the guy that was a parental figure to her. And she's able to take out that anger and establish herself as her own person separate from him. And then, of course, Davos takes that away from her by stabbing him through the heart.
Davos is a jerk.
Davos is a jerk. It's like...
Also, good thing we might not have wanted any additional information from him.
Right? I mean, just, come on. You keep them alive to question them. And, Davos, you're just... Again, it's the single-minded, raised in a cult thing that we were talking about, I guess, a couple of weeks ago. Last week? I don't remember.
Do you think this whole season would have been better served by giving us more Davos earlier on, so you can kind of relate to him, understand his friendship with Danny, and then when you get to the end, it's not just that he's, another guy in another cult?
I think so, because you're just getting Danny's stories about Davos. And then when you actually meet the guy, you're like, I don't understand this at all.
I do find it hard to believe that Davos would have known that Danny had left with the pass open and not gone after him. Of course, he might have been trying to guard the pass by himself before he left and was like, this is not working. I need Danny. I need the Iron Fist. And then to go get him. But the timeline just doesn't match up because it's not like hours or even a day. It's weeks.
Well, Davos might not know how to steal money for a passport or steal a passport or how to...
Or that he needs to get a passport.
Yeah, or forge any of those things and an airplane and stuff because, it is true. They have one worldview. They're taught one thing. You fight the Hand, you destroy the Hand no matter what, and so on and so forth. So, it's like he needed real world 101 to get there.
Except he's better at that stuff than Danny is for the most part.
Yeah. Last episode, we talked about the fact that I was surprised that he could actually operate a cell phone and that I was surprised that anybody from Kunlun knew about the workings of the real world. And we all surmised that they actually had real world 101 type classes at Kunlun and Danny just skipped those days.
Yeah, Muggle studies.
So, Haley, tell me about Harold. Is he a good guy?
Harold has gone round the bend. Like, we don't know what he was like before he died the first time. We've never seen him that way. But since he died, at least, he's kind of a dick. And also, like, going crazier as time goes on.
They took pains this episode to go back to the times where he was in the hospital and he was going through cancer treatments, and Joy and Harold were remembering kind of the good old days. So it's hard, as you said, to describe what he was really like because you don't know about his involvement with what happened with the Rand's jet at all. I mean, he could have been really involved in the drugging of the pilots. We just don't know. So you're right about that. But he did come across a little bit more human through Joy's description of what
Well, and
happened with
that's-
the cancer treatment.
That's her memories of when her father died. So it's not like she's gonna remember him negatively in that time. Even though he's back now, those memories are kind of enshrined for her because they're the last one she has of her father. So that's not necessarily a true representation of what he was like either.
Exactly. And I feel like a big part of this episode was people having their it's sort of a coming of age thing. You have Joy's, kind of, I guess, childhood preconceptions, even though she was an adult when it happened, of her father being completely destroyed with all the stuff that he said to Ward and all the stuff that he did after, and realizing, oh, wow, this is not what I remember. You have Ward being told by his father that you are a mistake. You have Danny, just all the stuff that he goes through this episode. You have Colleen having to literally cast aside her mentor and fight him. You have Davos realizing that, Davos and Danny both realizing that their childhood friends are not the people they thought they were. They lose faith in each other. Danny realizes Davos is more of a fanatic than he thought. Davos realizes Danny is not as fanatic as he thought. It's very much a transitional episode that actually manages to move the plot forward and feel like an emotionally relevant episode.
Yeah, it's interesting because Joy, she said, I finally got my dad back after 13 years. So, obviously she saw him as a kid and now she's an adult. And also it's very interesting seeing her being in this position of my brother is acting like a monster and he's saying that my father's a monster and she's that all confused and everything. And then she gets shot. So, poor Joy. I kind of feel for her.
Yeah, she gets the short end of the stick this episode really bad. Her family is terrible and she gets shot. And again, I watched the show and it's like the women are competent and just all the guys around them are just terrible.
Yeah, I had a slight issue with Colleen last episode because of her being part of the hand, but we worked through that. She's still an amazing character. And, oh, by the way, talking about Colleen and the dojo, who the heck cleaned that up? Because wasn't there like holes in the ceiling and windows crashed in, and then they get in there and the thing is all cleaned up? Who fixed the place?
Maybe Bakudo did. Because they were still planning on using that dojo for recruitment. Like, he sent his hand ninjas in with like some nails and buckets of paint.
Well, Danny does own the building and he's the landlord. So maybe he's a responsible landlord and he actually sent in a crew to fix it up.
That doesn't sound like Danny at all.
Yeah. Not at all. No. He is
trying to help Danny.
He can't keep track of any. I mean, he's like calling Harold out of the blue. It's like, oh, Harold, you're okay. Okay. Or Harold calls him, but it's like, oh. So yeah, no, I don't think he's had time to call the repair crews or the super. And I don't think the super in New York is just going to do it without being told.
Again, I think it was Bakudo.
Yeah, it had to have been, because look at how much trouble Jessica Jones had with her door.
She'd stop throwing people through it.
Indeed. So Harold's loft, can we just call that the loft penthouse of death now?
Murder loft.
Murder loft. Okay. We'll go with that. I'm actually putting it in the show notes right now. Murder loft. There we go.
I love when Ward's like, what happened to Kevin? And Joy's just like, who's Kevin?
Kyle. His
Kyle,
name's
that's
Kyle.
That's it. I knew it started with a K.
Ice cream Kyle.
Who's Kyle?
Kyle, poor Kyle. Wait, do you guys know where he is now? I can't remember what episode.
No, it's got to be next episode because I have no idea what happened with Kyle yet.
I scream, you scream, we all scream.
Okay. I can't remember what episode where you actually see where Kyle ended up.
I want to say it was last episode because you just see his dead face in the plants.
Yes, there you go. Because he's still in the apartment. He's rotting in that.
It up. Like,
no, because it's in that terrarium part.
yeah.
He's become part of that enclosed ecosystem. So his decomposing body is providing nutrients to the plants.
Yeah, but okay, how? I guess it must be sealed off really well because a decomposing body smells so bad.
True.
Especially once it starts to leak the fats out, like once it gets to the adipocere state. Oh my God. I was in a forensic entomology class in college, and to ensure that all of us, even the ones who weren't taking the labs, would know what death smells like, our professor brought coffee cans full of decaying tissue to class, and he had to warn, you know, the other classes that took place after what day he would be doing this, because the first time he did it, he didn't tell them, and people just like walked into the classroom and started throwing up.
Wow.
It smells so bad, you guys. Nothing wakes you up like the smell of rotting fat.
You know what? I think you would like a podcast I know about. It's called Coroner Talk. I've
listened to it. It's fantastic.
There you go, Coroner Talk. I forget the guy's name that does it, but he's actual coroner. He's been doing it for decades, so he's got a lot to say. It's called Coroner Talk. Not Corner Talk, Coroner Talk. There you go.
Corner. Coroner. Damn it.
Okay, let's
get back. I've always thought it was really weird that coroner is an elected position.
Yeah, it is.
Put that out there.
Yeah, no, there's a really good documentary about that. I think it's a PBS Frontline about how, how, you know, you watch CSI and you think, oh, why aren't all crimes solved fast? It's because coroner is an elected position. A lot of them don't actually have to have degrees in, you know, forensic science and stuff. And a lot of, medical examiner labs and stuff like that are way underfunded. Like, you have to just seriously watch the documentary. I'll find out what it's called. I'll link it on Twitter or something.
So let's get back to the murder loft. How many people have been killed in this place?
Well, are we counting Harold?
Yeah, he was killed there. Just because he came back doesn't mean he wasn't killed.
So him, those two guys,
the two-hand guys,
Kyle,
Kyle.
And then how many people did Budakudo's men kill? Two more?
Yeah.
So that's like 6.
One is too many. Okay, realtors have to tell you if one person was killed in your house. Just, wow.
But there haven't been any police reports, so.
Oh, good point. Okay, the documentary is called Post-Mortem, and it's on pbs.org.
There you go. Your educational Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. moment for today. We have the, what's it called? Lauren, what did you just call it?
Post-Mortem.
Okay, we have the
and it's on pbs.org.
We have the Post-Mortem and we have Corner Talk podcast. So PBS and podcast. There's your death decomposing note for today. All right, let's move on. And we didn't see Danny get his Iron Fist back last episode, right? It was just this episode, right?
Yes. It was just this episode.
And it fizzles out. So he doesn't have his full chi back, or did I misinterpret that whole thing?
Yeah, it's like the battery's not completely full yet. It's like when you take your iPhone off and you already charged it up to 21%. That's kind of like what Danny's going through. He's like, he had enough to break out of the handcuffs, but not enough to finish the fight.
And go ahead.
No, I was just saying, that is a really perfect metaphor. The Iron Fist is like an iPhone.
I just changed out the battery in my old iPhone today, too. That is an experience. I actually shocked myself because I put my freaking pinky on the leads and it charged me.
You should not do that.
No, you should not. It was by mistake. I didn't do it purposefully. I was just trying to get it out because when the iPhone 6's batteries were put in by these, what are those wall hanging strips called? The commando strips or whatever, the command strips. It's basically it's actually 3 in the plus. It's 2 in a regular one. And I'm pulling them out. I got 2 out, but I didn't get the third one out. So I'm trying to force the battery out, and the lead actually just got stuck on my pinky, and it burned like crap, and I felt this electric jarring through my whole thing, through my whole body. So I got electrocuted by my iPhone battery. Go figure.
Does this mean you're going to sue Apple?
Can I?
I don't know. I mean, you can try.
Doesn't changing the battery violate the warranty?
It's an iPhone 6 Plus. It's way out of warranty.
I think touching the screws nullifies the warranty on an iPhone.
How can they tell if you touch the screws?
I don't know. Apple's weird.
All right.
I'm sure they've got like some wax seal on it and they can tell that it's been broken.
Maybe. I didn't see any. So maybe. Oh, you know what though? It was a replacement phone though from like a year and a half ago when I had some. It was at C2E2 and my camera didn't work properly. So this is a replacement. I bet you somebody had been in there before. Okay. Let's move on to Bakuto. I don't believe for 1 second that the man is dead. He was stabbed in the heart. His head wasn't severed. So according to the hand rules or Herald's rules or whatever, Bakuto can be brought back.
Exactly. We know this is a thing that the hand does. We've seen it before, at least twice. And yeah, one thing that Bakuto says this episode, I think y'all should pay attention to, especially those who haven't seen the show before. When they're in the elevator and he says, I know someone who wants to meet you. Just remember that. Just remember that.
Somebody wants to meet you.
And
somebody wants to meet Danny.
And he also says that bestowing the resurrection thing is a gift that they've bestowed only to a select few.
Yes.
That's another thing.
Oh,
That's
so maybe Danny didn't survive the plane crash. I might be picking up on something here. Okay.
Maybe.
Well, maybe.
I also
not.
don't get really how it benefited the hand to bring Harold Meacham back to life.
Well, the fact that he has so much pull in Rand Corporation puts him in their debt. So they can use him and his resources in New York to kind of just, like you see it with the buildings and stuff, and with his influence over pharmaceuticals and things like that. So it's one of those things where he's a chess piece.
But it seems
you
like
want the right chess pieces.
It would have been much easier to just manipulate Ward.
Ward's an idiot, and they know
yes,
that.
Yes, he is, but he's very easily manipulated, and you don't have to go through all the trouble of bringing somebody back to life, which, I mean, spoiler alert, that's kind of a limited resource they have.
Yeah, but
Ward... As we find out in Defenders.
Yeah, but Ward was a kid, so...
I mean, he was a teenager.
Yeah.
And because he's older than Joy, and Joy was a teenager when their father died, so he might have even been in his 20s.
I think he was probably in like his early 20s. They actually say how far apart in age they are in the first couple episodes, and I don't remember.
You guys were saying Ward was an idiot, by the way. The fact that he stopped the money transfer, that was no, I wouldn't have done that. Say, I'll leave with Joy and then I will stop it. And no, he doesn't even try. He's like, oh, okay, I'll go do it.
Again, he's an idiot. See, Ward is just like, he's one of the worst characters on this show. And that's no offense to the actor. The actor is trying his best. It's just this character is...
He walked out of an 80s Wall Street movie into this show.
Exactly. Drugs and hair and everything.
80s Wall Street movie. Okay. So you're saying the next version of Wall Street will have him in it? Because I think we're running out of Sheens, right?
Yeah.
You know, we are. They are a limited supply. And this guy, I mean, he's got the Patrick Bateman look. So.
Yeah, but not that flair.
No. I mean, you gotta be Christian Bale to have the Christian Bale flair.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, have you seen him as his, as he's prepping to be Dick Cheney?
No.
A little.
Yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to that movie just for the part where he shoots the guy in the face.
Yeah.
Reminder, Dick Cheney shot his friend in the face.
While hunting, yeah. And the friend apologized.
Yep. He was, the friend was transferred was to the hospital where I was born, actually. Hooray, South Texas.
I'm trying to remember. I want to say that like one BB is still in the guide. Like they couldn't take it out. It was too close to like an artery or his heart or something like that. So.
Wouldn't surprise me. Politics.
Well, speaking of guns and everything, I mean, and we talked about how Joy got shot, but man, Bakuto's got some aim because like he automatically knows it's through and through. It somehow probably didn't graze any of the intestines, or anything like that. Yes, it's a slow bleed out when you have a gut wound, but if it pierces any of like the intestines or something, you have that, acidic thing coming out. And boy, that was some shooting there, Tex.
It's a magical bullet. Probably from Tahiti, magical place. So, talking about guys with guns, let's get to the end. The DEA actually shows up at the Clean's dojo. So obviously they're being set up on some sort of drug charge. And it wasn't really obvious to begin with, but once I started seeing how poor these guys were at fighting, then I was like, nah, these are not Hand. I have no idea who these guys are, but they're not. And then you see the DEA and you're like, oh, so they're just normal federal agents. Go figure. No wonder why they're so poor at their job.
Yeah, they probably said that, oh, this place is where they're shipping all of that super heroin from. And again, Harold is just so terrible. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm your father figure. Call the DEA on them. Oh, Ward, I didn't mean to tell you that you're just the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I remember when I stood up to my dad. Good job. Good job. It's like his dying words. Ward, you're such a screw up.
He is a terrible father. He's like, you watch this and it's like, yeah, Ward is terrible, but Harold is just this horribly abusive, manipulative person. It's like, it's kind of painful to watch, really. Like, I feel bad for Ward.
I don't. He's an idiot.
I do, because like, it really sucks to have a parent that just blatantly uses you that way. I got lucky. I have wonderful parents, but not everyone is that lucky. And that has to be just horrible. This person who's supposed to love you unconditionally and care for you, and you just see him using his kids like this. It's awful.
Yeah, I don't know if it's really him. We don't know what the resurrection has really done to him, so I don't know if it's him or not. But yeah, in his current state, he's not a good father. I
kind of look at it as, I read an article once years ago, and I think I've brought it up before, about how people say, oh, they aren't really themselves when they drink. And they're like, well, technically it is this person still doing this. So it's just a different facet of this person, maybe a more uninhibited facet of this person. And that's kind of how I'm viewing everything that has to be done with the resurrecting of these people that the Hand does. It's possibly a more uninhibited version of them. Like you see with Harold especially, he has way less impulse control.
Mm. So that part of his brain died and didn't come back.
Yeah. It's brain death. Your brain is damaged, and that part of his brain might have been damaged and not fully recuperated. Or it might be some spiritual thing. I don't know. But I think it is still fundamentally him.
All right. So I think we're coming to the end of everything. Haley, is there anything that we've missed with the episode that you have to offer?
I don't think so. I mean, we've covered, Colleen's awesome. Danny had a little bit of growth. Papa Meacham's the worst. I think that's the important stuff to gain.
All right. Michelle, anything left?
Yeah, it's interesting how Danny, said I'm Danny Rand and the Iron Fist. For me, it just sort of cemented that the Iron Fist, whoever portrayed him, didn't have to be like a white guy. It just needed to be an outsider, because Davos is like upset that he wasn't the Iron Fist because he's like, I was born there, it was my birthright. And then some outsider comes along and does it. And that's like, wow, that's right. Danny Rand just had to be an outsider. Could have, white guy, white woman, black guy, black woman, just needed to be an outsider. So we could have had someone who could act and fight be this role.
Yes, we could have. So, Lauren, last words for you before we get to quotes?
Harold is the worst. Ward is the worst. Davos is the worst. Colleen is adorable and we love her. And Danny is at least trying.
The only thing to make this episode better was if Claire was actually a part of it.
Agreed.
Yep. All right, Michelle, I know you have some quotes, so why don't you start off?
Okay. When did you become such a milkmaid, Danny?
The cut downs are just phenomenal.
You poor people are such a mess.
Yeah, that describes a lot of the show, actually. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't want to desecrate the integrity of your blade.
Yeah, as his dying words, or yeah, he does realize that this will actually kill him at this point in time. So part of his dying words. Mm-hmm.
I forgot how disgusting people are.
Yeah.
And finally, took a lot of balls to try and kill me again.
The father-son moment. Good on you, son. Good on you. Yeah, really appreciate the effort. Haley, do you have anything to top that?
No, I think that's it.
All right, Michelle, got them all. Way to go, Michelle. You've stumped Haley, our quote master. Talking about quote masters, we have this great podcast on the Gonna Geek Network, which we're a part of. We're part of the GonnaGeek.com network. And we have another podcast full of great ladies talking about Game of Thrones. So Tyrion's Landing, episode number 127, just dropped recently, the season 7 wrap up. Jeannie, Nikki, and Rachel are talking about season 7 in its entirety. Who lives, who dies, and who tells their story. Oh, that's right, George R.R. Martin. So once again, you can get that at GonnaGeek.com. It's Tyrion's Landing, episode number 127.
All right, news this week. Again, starting with some sad news. Singer Charles Bradley has died at the age of 68.
Yeah, who is Charles Bradley, you may be asking? Remember in Luke Cage, episode 3, there was that really awesome performance of Ain't It a Sin? That was him. He became a successful singer fairly late in life and was diagnosed with liver cancer last year. And that was ultimately what got him. So it's a huge loss for the music world. And he contributed just that memorable little moment to the Marvel Universe. And for that, we appreciate him. And for all of his other accomplishments. But we specifically at Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., because of our Marvel focus. Thank you.
All right. So moving out of the sad news portion that we've started having, it seems, every episode and into movie news, Evangeline Lilly is suiting up on the set of Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, so good.
Have y'all seen the pictures yet?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so the suit looks great, and she looks great. And there's also a picture of Walton Goggins, who I think is playing a bad guy in the movie, and he's just wearing a suit, whatever. But my favorite thing that I've seen is somebody on Tumblr commented that she looks kind of like Genji from Overwatch. So they edited a picture of her with, I need healing!
Yeah, the suit is interesting. I'm trying to remember the Ant-Man suit because I didn't see it side by side. And it's definitely a different color, which might be throwing me off, but it's pretty cool. And of course, female versus male. So I like it a lot.
Yeah, there's I'm glad because there's just a hint of the boob armor. Boob armor is so annoying because it's impractical, but it's more just padding and more like a sports bra effect than actual, like, here is giant metal that if I get hit in the chest is going to break my ribs. I think it looks pretty cool. It's very, kind of aesthetically similar to the Ant-Man armor.
It restores my faith in it. I'm really glad it's called Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ant-Man was fun, but it was like, okay, but I'm really glad the Wasp is going to be in the next one.
I don't think they could have done another solo Ant-Man film at all. I mean, I appreciate it. I liked him in Civil War, Captain America Civil War. I did enjoy that appearance, but I needed something more. And we got the tease of it at the end of the Ant-Man anyway. So let's move on with it and let's have fun with Ant-Man and the Wasp, because this is gonna be fun. We need more fun in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because there's a lot of bad stuff happening. I just want my fun.
Seems optimistic. Last up, we've got some news about the upcoming X-Men series, The Gifted. And first of all, I didn't know Polaris was going to be in this series. I guess I haven't been paying attention, but we are finally getting a look at what she's going to look like, and she has her comic book hair.
Yes, it's green. She got green hair. I'm so happy. And yes, Polaris is in it, and I love her. The IO9 article has a bunch of pictures of people in the cast, and there's this weird blue dude that looks a little bit like a frost giant from Marvel, but normal sized and I guess carrying a gun. Let's see, there's a bunch of mutants in like a mutant detention center. I don't know. It looks fun. The show premieres October 2nd, and I am digging the look of it.
So is this a Fox property?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's going to be on Fox.
On actual Fox?
On actual Fox.
Oh, okay. So they are definitely mutants.
Yes.
Is this a case of hashtag it's all connected, or is it like Legion is over here, The Gifted's over there, and the X-Men movies are way over there?
As far as I know, it's the second. I think it might be sort of connected vaguely to the current X-Men movie continuity, but like,
it's probably connected, but they'll never actually do anything with that connection.
Yeah. Kind of the same way that Legion is sort of vaguely connected, but not really.
So let's go back to the hair of Polaris. Was it green enough? Because it was basically green highlights into black as far as I saw in the pictures, or maybe I'm colorblind and I wasn't seeing it right.
No, it's that sort of dark green that you get if you dye dark hair. But I'm just happy that they're letting her have green hair instead of, I don't know, just like a green streak, or just not even bothering.
Also, I didn't realize that Amy Ackers was going to be in this either.
We've talked about this before.
I know. I read the article and I was like, I don't believe I forgot about that. So this is going to be good. And it's Amy Acker, not Ackers. I know I said it wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, it's her and Bill Moyer, Vampire Beale from True Blood, as the parents of, the non-mutant parents of these mutant kids. And I'm really happy about Polaris, and I'm really, really happy about Jamie Chung as Blink. So, 'cause yay, Blink! One of my favorite just kind of tertiary characters that everyone forgets about until she's back.
But no Jubilee.
No Jubilee.
Man. Justice for Jubilee.
I know. I think because she's in the movie universe right now.
Well, Blink
but I mean, so was Blink.
Yeah. I'm so confused on everything. I haven't even looked really hard at Runaways 2. And do we have an air date for that? It's sometime in 2018, right?
We do. No, Runaways is soon.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so there's a lot of Marvel coming at you.
So
it is going to premiere in... Come on, give me...
Because that's Hulu, right?
That's Hulu. And release date November 21st.
And then is Cloak and Dagger also Marvel?
Cloak and Dagger, yes, Marvel, and it's on Freeform.
I need a cheat sheet at
Sorry,
this
that
point.
one's Fox.
That one's Fox?
Wait, Cloak and
Oh,
Dagger.
it's Marvel.
That one is Marvel? Okay.
And it premieres. Come on. Give me a premiere date, people. Like,
I didn't think there was
Wikipedia,
one.
give me a premiere date. No, it's still TBD.
Yeah, okay.
But
So,
it's 2018.
yeah, I'm going to need a cheat sheet at this point in time because I'm losing track of stuff left, right, and backwards. And that's bad because Inhuman starts next week. So we need to get it in my head.
I'll
what's
make us a new spreadsheet for next week, okay?
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
the New Mutants supposed to be a movie? Because that's the one with Maisie Williams and stuff,
New
right?
Mutants is supposed to be a movie.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
So,
Lots of stuff going on. And stay tuned.
and I would like to say that I should be off of my painkillers by the time that Inhumans premieres. I am going to take full advantage of that by getting good and drunk to watch it because I'm going to need it. From the sound of it, I'm going to need it. More reviews came out, and you guys, it's bad.
Okay, should we come up with the drinking game now then?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, every time there's crappy CGI hair on screen, take a drink.
Okay. When you wish the show was about Lockheed, take a sip because I think that could be.
Whenever they use lame, non-real sign language, when they could have actually used actual sign language, take a drink.
Whenever it starts to sound like Shakespeare in the Park, take a drink.
Let me think. Whenever you get really, really confused over what people's powers are, take a drink.
Oh man, I'd be so wasted.
Okay, maybe take a sip.
Okay.
Can we
Yeah,
do take
when
a
we
sip
say
or a
when we
drink?
say drink, we don't mean like a shot. We mean like you just take a drink from your drink.
Okay, yeah, because otherwise you are risking
Death.
serious problems.
Is it okay if I complete this with root beer? Because you know-
Sure,
Okay,
sure. Because we know you have
issues.
issues.
Or take a bite of a chocolate. You know, that's
Whatever
acceptable.
whatever it takes to get you through this.
I'll probably have to do push-ups. Yeah.
Lauren, are you live tweeting this?
I am not. Well, yes, I will be live tweeting Inhumans. So
All right.
Okay, we got to join you for
yeah.
that because we'll help you. We'll help get
Yeah.
you through it.
I will be going back to live tweeting the live shows. So I will be live tweeting Inhumans.
That is this Friday, right?
Yes, it is. May God have mercy on our souls.
September 29th, 2017. A lot of people, well, not a lot of people. Some people have already seen the first two episodes on the big screen on IMAX.
You notice it's been out legitimately for what, 2-3 weeks now?
Yeah.
No,
And no one's really talking
spoilers
about it.
anywhere. Like,
That's-
you know, news articles aren't spoiling it, nothing. Just like,
Yeah, it's like no one's really going, oh my God, I wish I could tell you about this. Oh my gosh. It's just, yeah, here's the Inhumans.
We are a podcast on Marvel, and none of us took the time to go see it that weekend. I was busy.
I was in Alaska.
I mean, I might have been willing to see it in theaters, but I'm not willing to pay IMAX prices to see it.
Ah, heck no.
So there you go. There's your upcoming, do we want to call it 2017-2018 Marvel TV show slate that we just talked about?
Maybe next week we'll do like a proper rundown about like when things are coming out and, you know, which properties it's connected to and stuff.
That would be great. Haley, you
First
just
of all,
signed
organized.
yourself up for a segment.
Yeah, because I don't ever put together spreadsheets for the show just for fun.
Engineer.
All right. So that's it for the news for this week. Stay tuned for next week with the breakdown of all the shows as we go forward. And with that, let's go move on to some feedback.
All right. We're kind of light on feedback this week, but we have quality feedback. First from Adana Girl on Twitter. She sent us rocket, SMH, shake my head. And
Or smack my head.
linked us to an article on Huffington Post. Gutsy Raccoon gives new meaning to police ride-along. An officer was positively surprised when the critter hitched a patrol car ride. and there's pictures and a video, and it's very cute and a little scary because, oh no, raccoon, don't hurt yourself. But yeah, just they found a safe place to pull over to snap the pictures of the raccoon, and then the raccoon hopped off and fled the scene.
I'm totally going to get a dashboard cam because of this. Totally. Because I'm not missing that.
I like that he's like up against the glass, almost waving.
Hey guys,
I'm here. Guys, let me in.
Stop the car, you idiots.
I need that guy's arm.
I need your radio. I need it.
I want that fake eye. Give me that fake eye.
No, it's important to me.
Yeah. So when I was getting ready to go on vacation a couple weeks ago, my parents' neighbors, I got there and my mom was like, you need to see this. You need to see this. And they have a live trap in their neighbors have a live trap in their backyard because they're trying to catch an armadillo that's digging up their yard. And they caught a raccoon. So we're out there, we're giving it water, we're feeding it apples and stuff. So I posted a picture and everybody was commenting, did you give it that guy's arm? Because he needs it. We did name it Rocket.
Well, good.
Yeah. And he was released and is now living in a park far away from the retirement community where my parents live. We also have a comment from YouTube.
Yay!
Yay! For our episode 202 video. F. Semitic 1 said, oh, Caprica, sad face. I'm stealing a Danny, by the way. Happy face. For those of you who may not remember, we are pulling a really dumb move, pulling a Danny.
Yes. So that was Sci-Fi pulling a Danny by releasing all of Caprica, or the last 5 episodes of Caprica, all in one day.
Yeah. So we are glad to see this start to spread. Feel free to tell us if you are starting to use pulling a Danny for somebody pulling a really dumb move. And we would love to hear that from you.
Indeed. So thank you, everybody.
We would also love to hear about the biggest pulling a Danny moments that you have encountered or done yourself.
I don't know if anybody's going to admit that, but we'll see if people do.
I have admitted many of my own. So come on, guys. You can do it too.
You're pulling that card. Lauren has given you 200 episodes of her stories, and you expect stories back from that.
Come on, guys. Stories are fun.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you're trying to shock your producer. Don't think I didn't listen to your Undaunted episode.
You know I do it.
I know. Okay, so with that, we're going to flip kick this one out. Lauren, I just mentioned the fact that you are on an episode of the Undaunted podcast, which is a podcast that interviews other podcasters, but you also have another appearance coming up.
Yes, for all those Marvel fans who are maybe paying attention to the comics right now, you might know that Sam Wilson has given up the Captain America shield. And there's a podcast coming up. It's an audio drama about this event. It's called The Breakout Hour. And I am playing actually a recurring role on it. So check it out. I will be tweeting when it's up. Right now it's still in production, but check it out. Look for it and keep an eye on my Twitter for when episodes 1 and 3 specifically involving me are out. It's a 4-episode arc.
Look forward to that. And once again, that is called The Breakout Hour.
Yes.
Michelle, thank you so much for joining us this episode. We really appreciate your insights and your joy of ending Iron Fist.
Thank you for inviting me on, especially as just like a regular guest and not like filling in, because we think this is the first time it's been all 4 of us. So this is a very special moment.
I'm pretty sure it has been all 4 of us. I just felt that it was time to have an actual guest on the show for once and not somebody filling in for one of the 2 ladies or me, because that's been done before. Thank you very much for showing up.
You're welcome.
And thank you, listener, for downloading this show and keeping up with us during this very busy summer. We got very much a lot of content to go through still. Haley, once again, has one of those great spreadsheets that keeps us on track. So don't worry about it. If it's important in the Marvel universe, we will be talking about it. So thank you very much for everything that you do for us.
Yes, thank you to...
I was just going to say thank you to everybody who gives us feedback, who sends us stuff that you think we're going to find interesting. We love hearing from you. We love knowing that you're listening to us. We love just knowing what you think. Thank you so much.
Thank you to everybody that's listening. We have our schedule made up tentatively through the end of the year. So as some of these new shows start, we might not be able to start covering them right away. But if you're really enjoying them, let us know. So that'll help us decide which shows we're going to cover as we have time become available to do so.
So you're saying our schedule is somewhat flexible?
Not that flexible.
Eventually, our future schedule will be flexible.
Yeah, in like 2042, when they stop putting out new shows, we might catch up.
We need one of those, what was it, time turners that Hermione had?
Yes.
We need one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed. All right. So thank you very much, ladies. Thank you, listener. And until next time, which will be Thursday, I'm Director Stargate Pioneer.
I'm Agent Haley.
I'm Agent Lauren.
And I'm Consultant Michelle.
Will the bill be coming for this one, Michelle?
Oh, definitely.
See you guys next week. Bye.
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 Thank you for listening. If you want to leave us feedback, go to gonnageek.com and you will find all our contact information and other shows. You can also visit legendsofshield.com where you'll find our complete archive of podcasts. The music heard on this podcast is by Kevin MacLeod, found at incompetech.com, and also artists on pond5.com and audiojungle.net. The opinions heard on this podcast are those of the individual hosts and do not represent Stargate Pioneer Productions, Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., or Gonna Geek. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the property of the Disney Corporation, Marvel Studios, and ABC. No infringement is intended. Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is copyright 2017.